Sessions where the wrestling truth resides.
Welcoming back to the Purr sessions, we have the owner of Limitless Wrestling, co-owner of Let's Wrestle. Let's bring back Randy Carver Jr.
Boys, what's going on?
Hey. Not much. Hey, man.
What are we watching?
Oh, we were thinking of watching the we got fan cam of our match against Sam and Lee and Levi's main event match.
Sweet. Okay, perfect. How you guys doing?
Fantastic. Rocking and rolling.
Hell yeah.
Big Cat might have fell asleep before the show again.
Big Cat.
Surprise!
I feel like that's the usual at this point.
It
really
usual.
is.
So Big Cat's wife texts me and goes, "Is Big Cat on the podcast? Because I can't get a hold of him." And I was like, I literally just got home from setting up the ring for tomorrow's show, and I was like, I have no idea. I was like, I'm getting on right now. I'll let you know. She's like, pretty sure he fell asleep. Do you have the ability to go live? I was like, I think. And then I tried logging on to the First Sessions thing, and you still have two-factor enabled. So you have to approve it on your phone.
Wow.
So I was not going to be able to get on this because I couldn't get into the Google account. So I'm glad you woke up.
Good thing
No,
I woke up.
Actually, I saw that pop up on the Google email, and I ignored it because I didn't even know what it was.
I couldn't get it. For some reason that it didn't pop up on my end for the email. So I was like, I can't get into the email. So I hope he wakes up.
Yeah, shout out to her. She's got the lock on the Purr sessions, apparently.
I guess so.
We have to have an inside person.
Yeah, I got to keep my shit in check. That's all.
She's the only one that can spam call Cat and finally wake his ass up. When we try and do it, he never wakes up.
Right. All right.
Sorry.
So,
Sam's
Levi,
playing
this
video
is
games, so I keep looking up.
Levi. This is your part of the show, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
stuffing his face with food. So you're doing pretty good, Ray.
All right. So
Dylan, you had a good question to start out with.
I do actually have a good one.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this a little bit earlier, Randy. And now Vacation Land Cup, especially the show itself, not just the cup and the matches in the cup, but the show itself, sometimes has some weird, crazy surprises that no one ever expects. My thing was like my big surprise that in the 5 years I've watched the Vacation Land Cup was still the biggest one in my brain. Still sticks with Alexander Lee turning on MSP to this day. In your mind, what is the biggest surprise out of any of the Vacation Land Cup shows?
Geez, the Alexander Lee moment is a big one. I mean, Steel Cage not working is a top one for me. That was quite a surprise, I have to say.
Was that the Ace and AG match?
Yes, that was the main event of the first cup. I don't know. I would. Those would have to be up there in terms of returns. I can't think off the top of my head on all the. I would say also that the whole Sean Spears, Tommy Dreamer, Anthony Green match even came to be on that cup because it really wasn't meant to be, but somehow it happened. But and I would also say I guess it's not a return, more so a moment, but still getting to have that 2020 Vacation Land Cup, with everything going on. Yep. That was first time in a long time that we had been able to see in person a lot of people who, were involved with that card that we had worked with on a month-to-month basis for a long time to that point. And then from, February to December, you're not seeing those people. So that was cool. But yeah, I mean, it provides big moments, surprises, I feel like every year. This year will be no different, but Alexander Lee has to be up there because I just, that was, I think it blindsided a lot of people, including the crew, that was, a thing that was going down.
Man, I remember, so the buoy that he carries around now, I actually made that one for him, and I made it at that show. I painted it and put the logo and everything on it, and I went to turn it around to put the MSP logo back on it, and he looks at me and goes, "No." And I went, "What?" He's like, "Just no." And I was like, "Oh, okay, here you go." And
whatever you say.
Maybe I should have added 2+2 in my brain right there. So, but
who was it that got absolutely walloped? Was it Mac Daniels?
With the no, I think it was Dave Dyer. No, it was Mac that got what? Mac got walloped.
I almost thought it was you.
Dave got, it was either me or Dave that got punched in the face and did oversell. I think it was Dave.
I think it was Dave. That sounds like a bold move.
Son of a bitch.
Since we're on the topic of VLC, I feel like we didn't go into a lot last time we had you on the show of the actual history on VLC. What was kind of the roots, the bread and butter that kind of gave you the idea to do a tournament style show? And if you remember, was it something that you immediately went into knowing that it was going to be like a yearly thing, or was it just one of those things where you were like, let's do this as a one-off, and then it just kind of was received so well you were like, well, maybe this could be like a reoccurring thing for every year?
I definitely think that we went into it, with hopes of this could become, our annual thing, because really early on, I mean, we're, kind of finding an identity as a promotion with the wrestlers that we had on the roster. A lot was up in the air. So it was a big feeling out process, and we didn't really have like those identifiable events like you kind of see today in the roots of Limitless, like year by year. But we definitely wanted something to kind of hang our hat on as like a big event of the year, an attraction. A tournament came to mind, and granted, after the first one, I didn't know if we'd have another show after everything that went down with the cage, and it just, it turned into a much bigger situation than any of us had really predicted. But the tournament persevered. We came back in 2019 with what stands today as, I think, one of the most memorable shows for people that they bring up to this day, that the Portland Club you're just talking about at Dylan Nix. And it just kind of grew from there. I mean, we were able to still have one in the COVID year of 2020, and then we had one back with people again in 2021 that was very special. And it just, it became kind of just, I don't know, a big deal for Limitless fans, for fans around the Northeast, for the wrestlers as well involved, because every year at the Cup, I mean, there's a lot that culminates. Like our a lot of years build to WrestleMania for WWE. I feel like this is, and it feeds into one of the biggest ones as well, because the whole idea was, I mean, we didn't have a championship. When the Vacation Land Cup rolls around, the Limitless Championship is not in the mix yet. So to be able to have something as well that's, tangible, you can see it, you can touch it, you're fighting for it, and it also unlocked the opportunity to call your shot for the anniversary show. Now that turns into a title opportunity because there is a championship in the mix. But it's a way to propel yourself. I mean, we've seen it year by year. I feel like there are breakout stars of the Cup who really define the next year of Limitless moving forward. So, it's open to anybody in this Cup this year.
When deciding on every time, Kat.
I'm sorry. I hate when it does
Still
that.
sleeping, dude.
When deciding on who is going to be pitted against who bracket wise, is it one of those things that it's just like, I mean, we've seen a lot of brackets that tend to end up being feud builds. Like, I want to say, I guess that wasn't
JT and Desmond would be a good.
That was my first thought. Is it one of those things that you kind of try and use the brackets in the Cup as like these two guys want to fucking get at each other, let's put them and get them at each other in like one of the biggest things to try and win the Cup is like the thing to do besides winning the title, of course. So is it one of those things that like you look at the feuds that build and build and build throughout the year, and when Vacation Land Cup comes around, you're like, all right, well, you know what? If you two really want to fucking get at each other, fucking fight for one of the biggest, one of those spots.
I think it's always situational. I mean, we do tend to always see situations like that, and I think you can definitely point to Aaron Rourke, Ricky Smokes as one of those matches this year.
Too, yeah.
On the flip side, in this year's tournament, you also have a first-time match that is the epitome of a challenge match to really test where you're at and see, if you're up to snuff with someone at the top of their game in a Gabby Forza versus Billy Stark situation.
I'm so excited.
In years past, like it can almost be a rekindling as well. I mean, we saw Kevin Blackwood, who was in a near deadly car accident at the beginning of the year. We had to drop everything that we had with him and Christian Casanova at that time, and they were they were set to end things in a major way. I believe it was January of that year, and then he comes back, makes his return in the Cup against Christian Casanova, gets that match back, and actually made it to the finals that year. So it's very situational. We kind of see a little bit of everything in this tournament as well. You get to see kind of new school Limitless versus old school Limitless, Dijak versus Alec Price, where Dijak was here, a foundational piece of Limitless for the first 2 years until he was signed by the WWE, and Alec Price, he boasts as if he built the place all his own. So I'm excited to see that one as well. It's going to be fun as a mix of everything in this first round, but if we're talking rivals, Rourke and Smokes is going to be off the chain.
Well, one of the matches that I'm personally excited for is Aiden Agro versus Desmond Cole.
Ooh, yeah.
Agro has just been on fire since he turned.
Bro, you look like you're in JP O'Reilly's living room right now.
So you're not
like,
wrong.
did you take a picture in his house and use it as your green screen?
No, it's one of the stock virtual backgrounds.
I'll wait for his JP to jump up and be like, hey, wait a minute.
And like we've seen Boofa really come into his own, and he owns the crowd, and the crowd just gets behind him so much, and he just put JT Dunn down. I think that's one of the hottest matchups going into the first round of the Cup.
I think it was pretty telling when that match was dropped. Johnny Torres dropped the tweet, and he's like, well, consider my bracket busted because these were my final two. And I think a lot of brackets you could have seen that being the final two because Aiden Agro undefeated since no more Danger Kid, no more MSP, threw it all away. And in a singles capacity with Jay Haru by his side, it's nearly an unbeatable combo. And Desmond Cole, if you take JT Dunn out of the equation, I mean, there's a good case to be made. He could be Limitless Wrestling champion by now, but it didn't happen for him. He was able to close that chapter, and now with Sidney Bacabella patting the pockets of Aiden Agro and Jay Haru, anything is possible for Agro. And I'd be excited to see him eat a little up down from Boofa, a little swanton, a little shut him up a little. Maybe Jay Haru gets a little pop in him too.
Oh,
I'd be okay with that. I'm a little sick of these guys.
I'll pad the pockets of Desmond Cole if he gives Jay Haru the Boofa bomb at VLC.
Let's go. Okay.
Man, I'll send him money. I swear. I want to see that shit.
I'm looking around. I'm like, what do I got? I'll sell something.
I'll sell something.
So, Randy, what is the match that you are most excited for?
Gee, I mean, it's tough. I think Rourke and Smokes are going to tear the house down. I think I'm very enamored with Boofa Agro. It's the first time they've ever touched in a ring. They have never gone head to head and touched whatsoever in the ring. So that's going to be super intriguing to me. I've been interested this entire year with the matches that Gabby's been getting thrown, like the Kylie Rays, the Megan Baines, Ricky Smokes. I mean, she's been rising to the occasion more than I think anyone at that stage in the game. I mean, she's under like 50 matches, I think, been in about a year.
She was thrown into the fire from the moment she stepped into Limitless.
Man.
It was just right to the wolves, and she's stayed with it all the way. Like, she has.
And that's not always the case. It's not always the case when that happens. So, like, we'll see how far it can go for her because this is, Billy Stark's first Ring of Honor women's television champion, has never competed in the state of Maine, but, I mean, she can't even purchase alcohol at the store, and she's wrestled in about 36 states.
Right.
That's crazy. That's crazy. The most experienced young person in the business and, very similar career paths. So it's a cool test, I think, along the way for Gabby Forza, especially in the first round. And, I mean, what can you say about Dijak and Price, too? I mean, to see Dijak back on the indies, it's still crazy to me. I still don't believe it, but I'm going to enjoy it while it's here, and I'm going to enjoy seeing Alec getting tossed around the building a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Fun little fact about Billy, I actually met her at a show in Jersey that MSP brought me to. And I just saw this little, it's when she's still doing more her alien gimmick thing. I don't know, her older gimmick. And I have my purple gear bag, the big rolly gear bag. I have an ever sticker on it that we traded stickers that show. So
No way.
yeah,
So-
I met her a while back.
Her nickname,
Sweetheart.
one of her nicknames is Space Jesus. So, I'm just saying, can we get the possibility of Hardcore Jesus versus Space Jesus for Jesus Supremacy?
Oh, wow. The use of Jesus on a pole match, maybe?
Man,
I don't know.
Whoa. We
I don't know.
got some possibilities. I'm just
Yeah.
saying the possibilities are there. That's
Wow.
So, speak a little on what
My
Contract
lord.
on the cross.
on the last show you talked about Luke Robinson coming back and how well he's doing, how he's in probably the best shape of his career. And it was announced that Luke Robinson's opponent is Mad Dog Matt Cross. So talk a little bit about that. Is that something that was there other, like, did Luke want something else? But then when you announced Mad Dog was going to be there, he was like, that's what I want, kind of thing. Like, because that's a history. That's very much a history that I think we're going to see unfold here at the show. So talk a little bit about that match.
Yeah, I mean, it's 13 years in the making. I mean, you look back, a lot of people would look back and say that Luke is the reason that M-Dog was eliminated so early in Tough Enough. And I believe it's on Peacock. So you got a week to go back and get informed. And it's an interesting watch. And you got to wonder how that sits with 13 years on it, you know, and looking back at opportunities like that could have been. And of course, Luke didn't go on to win that season, was the runner-up. I think a lot of people thought that he should have won, and you know, everything has turned out just fine for him along the way, if not better. And it's cool. Like, he's not active as much anymore in the ring. I mean, this is the first time he's wrestled since, I believe, 2020. So it's been a while for him, and he only pops out when it's a special occasion or it's a big match. And this is, like, not to pull it back too much, but like, this has been talked about for years, this match, and it just, you know, much like M-Dog Alec Price, it's just, you know, been talked about and never happened. The trigger never got pulled on it. But what better time? I mean, Luke's an Auburn boy. Still lives in the area, and just hometown boy done good for real. I mean, when I was coming into independent wrestling, he was the dude to watch, and we literally got to watch him make it and you know, nearly take it all the way. And it was incredible to watch as a fan. And I know he's still got a devoted fan base to him as a wrestler. And I know it's not his main priority anymore, but people are very excited to see Luke back in the ring, and very excited to see the living legend, like the last true wrestling pioneer, M-Dog 20 Matt Cross, coming straight from the gathering of the Juggalos, which I think is incredible. He's just the best, man. He wrestles everywhere still. He's been to so many countries, and I'm interested. M-Dog's always at the top of his game, so I hope Luke is ready, stepping back in the ring a couple miles down the road from where he grew up. This is a big one.
I mean, I'm not at that level, but I've taken like a week off and then gotten back in the ring, and you feel it. You feel that ring rust. Like, I can't imagine not really wrestling since 2020 and then stepping into this high caliber match.
That's a big step. It's a big step.
Yeah.
But if anybody's gonna be ready for it, it's Luke.
It's exciting stuff.
While we're talking on returns and matches that are kind of shocking, at the last Limitless show, the alternative, Anthony Green, made his return and fucking sent Channing Thomas packing. So what is that? What are your thoughts going into that one? For the title, of course, but Channing Thomas with Bacabella behind him, of course, against Anthony. I'm excited for that match. I think they've squared off before, but this is, like, for me, looking at it, it's a whole new Channing Thomas and a whole new Anthony Green. So it's really, like, for me, a first time matchup for where these two have gone in their career at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's been since they tangoed in a Limitless ring, it's been over 2 years. But in 2022, kind of when Channing was just breaking the chains of prestigious a little bit and starting to branch out on his own, They had an incredible singles match that I believe was up for match of the year in Limitless Wrestling that year. Channing, like, since then, I mean, you drop Prestigious. There was a bit of a cold streak for Channing, and then when Sidney Bacabella got in the mix, bang, it all clicked. And now he finds himself on top, Limitless Wrestling champion. And slowly but surely, he's been chasing down the reign of Anthony Green, who sits at 397 in terms of days as Limitless champion. Channing Thomas, I believe he's closing in this week on 350. So if he can get past Anthony Green, that just about seals the deal for Channing. Anthony's got some history to protect. And if you know Anthony Green, he is a sucker for pro wrestling history. He is a history buff. He remembers things I cannot even imagine and that I would have in my memory bank. But it's going to be exciting to see these two face off because, like you said, I mean, they're two different competitors than 2 years ago. Anthony has been pretty much living in Japan for the past year and a half. He's hardly ever in America anymore. We're catching it at the right time to be able to have him back for this last stretch of 2024. But Channing Thomas has been tested against the best. I mean, he has had challenger after challenger, not only in Limitless Wrestling, but this guy is around the country every weekend doing the damn thing and is at the top of his game right now. So there is not a better time to have this match. And another cool piece of the history with it is the first Ring of Honor match up in the state of Maine. Anthony Green was a portion of that at the Lewiston Coliseum. And to be able, and Dylan, next, I believe you were in the house that night for that match.
Because I remember his music hitting and me going, wait, what?
These years later, I mean, he's got the chance to make more history and become champion once again, the first ever 3-time Limitless champion.
Fun fact, you know who wrestled that night?
Ryan Mooney.
Exactly. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. That was
we
so
were
cool.
talking about Vacation Land moments. Like, Channing had a huge moment last year.
Oh, man. Yes. It was the cup steal of them all.
Yeah. And then on top of that, cashed it in to win the title from Rip that same night. Yeah,
it's that was an unbelievable situation, and he's been
the
there ever since.
Yep.
I was in the house for that. I did not want to hand Nate Speckman the title when Channing won it, and I looked at Speckman and told him it was the worst thing I ever had to do because I held on to the title after Channing cashed that in, and I did not.
Spade pulls a fast one, and he's gone.
I did not want that son of a bitch to take the title.
Goes into business for himself. I will say, you also have Tony Atlas coming, and I wrestled Tony Atlas yesterday, and he's still
yesterday.
Yes,
what?
At the Skowhegan Fair, I wrestled Tony Atlas, and he still hits just as hard as he does.
Oh, yeah.
I got a couple shots in, but man, he still hits hard.
All of us in the chat are like, yeah.
Was it singles? Was it tag?
It was me and NBK versus him and Larry.
Gotcha. That actually leads into my next question. There have been a few other announcements. Tony Atlas, of course, going to be there. Ace Romero has been announced. Are there certain things that you're sitting on that are you're keeping until show day to try and rope people in, like surprises wise, or should we? Can we expect to see some sort of announcement on what's Ace doing? Because there, I know that a lot of fans too are speculating. There have been other names tossed out for Ace to settle some scores. I literally was just scrolling through and saw a couple fans toss out a few names. So are you keeping that like a show up to VLC to find out, or can we expect to see some stuff about what Ace has got planned for the night?
Oh, I think you always got to show up and find out. I can't say what's on the card for Ace. Of course, nearly punched his ticket to the cup earlier this year, fell short against Aiden Agro thanks to a steel chair. Ace has been a part of Limitless history in every historic moment along the way, and it would be crazy to have an event like this without Ace Romero in the house, regardless if he qualified or not. So I can't speak to what Ace is going to be up to that night, but Big Boy season will be in the house, and it will be felt throughout the night.
And he's looking good. He's down. I just saw he updated. He's down another shirt size and two pant sizes,
sir.
I think, or something. He's getting lean. So
ready.
I'm excited.
So,
I'm excited to see what he's got going on.
This brings us in. Speaking of Ace Romero, is going to bring us into Samuel Matthews' hot take.
Oh no!
Oh, no. Hit the gimmick. Hit the gimmick.
All right.
I love how Randy called for it.
Am making my VLC predictions for the first round.
Oh boy.
Oh.
All right. I got Aaron Rourke over Ricky Smokes. I have Alec Price finding a way to beat Dijak. I have Gabby beating Billy. And I have Desmond beating Aggro because Ace Romero is going to cost him the match.
Cool. All right.
I can see that.
Because a theme I am definitely seeing, I don't know if it was meant for it or what, is people getting their comeuppance to finish some stories, and I think Aiden Aggro would make a fantastic Vacation Land Cup winner. He is my pick, but my heart is telling me that Ace Romero is not happy with Aiden Aggro still. We never got a finish after he put Jay Haru through a table.
I was there for that.
He never got his hands back on Aggro. That's not finished. I think you're going to see Ace Romero cost Aiden Aggro.
I wouldn't mind that one bit.
That sounds.
I would not mind that one bit. I think Aggro's got a lot coming to him down the pipe.
I think Aggro's head is going to explode if that happens.
He's going to be upset. That I believe that cash is dependent from Bacabella. I would assume the other half is dependent on getting the job done.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
so.
I'm interested about how that works. Is that supposed to be like Aggro winning the cup and then not cashing in on Channing? Does Bacabella seriously think he can give Aggro enough money? If Aggro wins the cup, he's coming after Channing. Like,
what's he going to do?
Yeah, I don't
exactly.
see.
Does he have that much money?
he
He is
doesn't.
monetarily motivated.
Yeah. He is a former, Hall of Famer, so
It's true.
Sure
He
you
might
say
have it
former.
loaded up. He might have won a lawsuit over that I don't know about.
hey, for all we know, he's got something on Vince. So
I don't know. They were happy.
Everybody seems to have something on Vince these days.
that is truth. That is true.
I don't know. I don't think you can stop the main character from cashing in if he wins at VLC.
I mean, how could you? He'd take the money and then cash in and say,
Right,
yeah,
right.
I can see that exactly happening.
Thanks for the payday.
Yeah. Then he walks out and goes, "Here's the check. Awesome, thank you. Here, have this."
Raises up hands. I'm not going to do anything, and this immediately.
Johnny was-
Look,
Yeah.
I know
I'm
that
just
we're
saying.
on the topic of VLC specifically, but
Oh, Lord.
what's the future gonna look like with the Let's Wrestle title? Of course, at the last show, Channing beat BRG and is now, for the first time ever, both Limitless
Champ.
and Let's Wrestle champion. So what's that future looking like for, as granted, if he beats Anthony Green at the upcoming VLC show, but what's the future look like with that?
Yeah, it's unprecedented as it stands right now because we have never had the same Limitless Wrestling and Let's Wrestle champion. And kind of crazy that it's gone through every prestigious member now, from Mac Daniels to BRG to
That is
Channing
wild.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Channing, of course, is no stranger to Let's Wrestle. I mean, those who really know the history know that Channing was a very crucial part of the early years of Let's Wrestle at the American Legion in Orono, even at the start of our journey at the Indoor Yard Sale in Brewer as well. I mean, Channing and Gangrel headlined one of the first shows we had there. So
Great match.
Yeah,
he's not new to the foundation of Let's Wrestle, but it does, it's truly the easy answer is that it's just going to keep the schedule busier for Channing Thomas because now, as long as he's holding on to both championships, he's going to have the same obligations as Limitless Champ as he is as Let's Wrestle. So I wouldn't doubt you see him in Milford coming up. I wouldn't doubt you see him make the trip to Island Falls. As long as he can hold on to everything, there are going to be obligations to fill.
So the belts aren't unified. He just has both titles.
Yeah, good time to clarify this because there was
okay.
some confusion, but it is not the end of the Let's Wrestle Championship. They are still both their own properties. They're just unfortunately both owned by the Dallas Wrestling Office right now.
Right. And just to clarify as well, the match between Anthony Green and Channing Thomas at the VLC is just for the Limitless title, not the Let's title on
Correct.
the line as well.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Separate entities. The challenge was for the Limitless Championship. It was just we had the title versus title situation, and now we have one champ of both brands. But he's still the same obligations to fill as champion. They're not. It's not the end of the Let's Wrestle Championship.
So
if anybody was wondering, there's your answer to those questions.
Yes, yes. I've had a few people ask about it, so it's good that we can clarify it because
I think I've seen a couple people ask about that, and it's one of those things. I'm like, no, it wasn't a unification. It was a champ versus champ.
Yeah,
they're two separate entities. So I'm glad that asking that question, that wasn't even what I was going for. But I
think a lot of people that live through the Attitude Era and watch like the European title, and the IC title become one, and like the Cruiserweight title, and like the other titles become one type thing. And
sometimes that happens for sure.
Yeah. So I got a question really quick. So if Anthony Green does win, which is a big possibility, because he's been champion twice now, and he's definitely going to work hard to possibly be the third. He's still connected with Pro Wrestling Noah. So how do you feel that the Limitless Championship would be over at that company more than on the in the Limitless state of Maine?
Honestly, I think it would be a really cool opportunity to grow the brand in a different way. And Pro Wrestling Noah is a huge stage to do it. It looked like that was going to be the case, and it's no different than if Rip Bison was champion and took it to Kyushu Pro in Fukuoka when he was heading over there the first time. I think it'd be really cool, but it's we have Anthony locked down for a majority of the rest of 2024, so that would not actually be an immediate venture as it would have been with Rip Bison when he won the championship last year, but I think it'd be really cool. I mean, if we could see a Limitless Championship match on Pro Wrestling Noah television, I don't think that's an opportunity I'd like to pass up if it was there.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
The last time that the Limitless Championship was wrestled outside of the U.S., wasn't that with MJF in UK, right?
Yeah.
Yes. IPW, I believe it was a week after he won the championship, wrestled Kip Sabian over there for the championship.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's kind of wild.
Random fun fact.
Yeah.
That's the first actual Limitless, title defense was against Kip Sabian in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, so it's an actual world title, which is
really that's what I was gonna say. That's the thing that's really cool about the Limitless Championship. It's a legit world championship. Like I know a lot of companies like this claim that this is a world title, whatever. The Limitless Championship is a legit world title. It's been defended around the world. So that's actually kind of cool to have that little history of the Limitless title.
I think
it'd be cool to do again. I mean, whether it's Channing, whether it's Anthony Green, whether somebody else down the line, I think I don't know, those opportunities. I mean, we're working, in a digital form with WXW in Germany. We're able to host the women's championship match to make that a world championship as well. So maybe that's something to be explored down the road. But I mean, any opportunity to do something like that is extremely cool. And, just cool for the champion as well to be, in a situation like that where we're able to do that on, foreign soil.
I feel like WXW would be a good like foot in the door kind of thing, because we have seen of WXW's women's title being defended in a few different places, but in Limitless as well. So I could definitely see something, whether it's Channing or Anthony or again a champion down the line, where WXW hosts that, which will be cool. Just another country to have the Limitless Wrestling title defended in. I actually didn't know about the UK thing, so that's really cool. That's a fun fact for me too. So this could be just a quick thing, but I'm scrolling through the Limitless Facebook here, and what's the seating look like? Are we still down to, I think the last update was 5 floor seats left? No, 7 floor seats remain. So are there still 7, or are we officially sold out of the floor seats?
There's 5 like single ones scattered around for 4th row, but other than that, everything's taken up, and then the bleachers are starting to fill. So it's going to be an experience, man. I'm looking forward to it, and it's just going to be a Limitless show like no other. So I hope everybody can be there.
I'm real excited to be able to be a part of that. And last year was my first VLC, so going from that to this, it's great to be a part of history.
That
I
actually weirdly reminds
am
me of the
unfortunately
dumbest thing here. Randy, do you have any of the T-shirts left from last year?
I will check. I honestly
All right.
don't know
Because I don't know if I ever got one from last year. I have all of them that I've been part of so far.
I'll see if we got something.
I am
All right, cool.
unfortunately booked. I officially have a booking for Saturday, so I will not be
That's
out there.
so crazy. All this.
This is pretty cool. This is awesome. You got all this right next to the ring, all sold out, and you're selling out a lot of the bleachers as it is as well.
There's still a lot to go. I mean, it's still a lot to go, but it's it's been great so far. We've had a lot of support locally from the Lewiston Auburn community as well. So I'm expecting a good night ahead.
So I think I think that's all that I wanted to discuss. I feel like we hit on all the brackets and things to discuss. Does anyone else have any more questions before we let Randy take off here?
No, we know his time is valuable. He's a busy man.
I do want to show the portrayal for Alexander Lee and MSP because I do feel like that was one of the biggest moments in VLC.
I remember Mac jumped the gun.
It was just chaos. Nobody knew what to do.
Yeah.
Look at Dave Dyer with hair.
On your fucking knees!
MSP pushing us all in the ring like, go guys, go.
I told you outside, I told you online. You don't fuck with them. You got a problem, you need to come and mess with me. You aren't the end of MSP. You're not the man to do it. There's only one person that can do it, and that man is fucking me.
Who made that, Andy?
What, the movie?
This is all your fault.
You did this.
Yeah.
You did this.
Aggro blamed me for the same thing, honestly. By the way, if you've never been hit by a buoy, those things are solid.
Oh, they suck.
I may be an idiot, but who is that?
With Alexander Lee? Brandon Kerr.
Okay. That was one hell of a fucking plan.
Then this led into the match at the Portland show.
Yeah.
Where the lobster trap showed up for the first time.
Yeah, a lot of lobster influence in this one. Yeah.
The lobster trap is again my fault. Blame Alexander on that one. He wanted it.
I'm starting to blame you for the break of MSP.
No, that was not my fault.
Oh yeah, that.
Oh, that wasn't me. Okay.
Damn, Andy.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I need 2 minutes. I need 2 minutes. Come on, we'll fuck all these people up.
We got Mac, we got Drifter, we got
Dalton.
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 Well, I didn't even recognize Dalton.
Then my boy Matt Bruce, I think,
Yeah,
in the cut.
Yep.
that was Matt Bruce.
I think Derek's in there somewhere. Damn Joey's. Glad
The
he's
voice sounds really familiar.
Are in no shape to sign anything right now, so we're just gonna leave this reinstatement policy here.
It's so weird seeing Aggro with short hair again, though.
Yeah.
I know. I watched back one of our original matches just the other day, and it was before he started doing the really long dreads.
I guess I never watched this all the way through. I didn't know he stapled it to his forehead.
Yep.
It was pretty gnarly.
Tell you what, a lot of broken hearts that night.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild. I hadn't
I've
seen
never
this.
seen that. I knew that he betrayed MSP, but I've never actually seen the.
Yep.
Had never actually seen it.
Oh, we don't talk about that guy.
Dude, there's a cast of kids. Everybody was in the cut here.
Yeah.
Is that Bobby Poops I saw in there?
I think so.
Holy fuck! Let's go home. What? Look at all. What? Look at all of them. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Get back, Hellfang. Shut up. Get back.
That might have been my car right there, actually.
Oh yeah, will we go?
I bet it was.
You got any of this shit? What? You don't know yeah. Come on. You don't know what I got. Do something. Do something. Jump. Yeah. There's fucking 9 of you, but
Oh, look at Mac.
we left. Go back in and earn no money. Go back in and not get paid.
Mac's ready to get in the middle of something.
He
Yeah.
was too.
Mac Daniels.
Not get paid. Go ahead.
How's he been doing? Where's he
Suck
been?
Carver's dick some more. Get in there.
He's in Boca.
Of course he is.
You'll never get on the shows anyways. Just go home and die.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm fucking hot.
Wow. I'm home,
That's
but I'm alive.
heinous.
That
That
counts.
was heinous.
Ish.
Jeez.
Oh,
Jeez,
gee,
when's
Louise.
Oh, when's the comeuppance for Sidney Bacabella coming with all the shit that he spews? How long shall it go?
I'm ready for him to see. I don't know. Maybe
I was
4
gonna say-
upside the face one of these days.
I was gonna say, Dan
That'd be
hasn't
nice.
cursed him, so.
It's coming. It's coming.
All right. Well,
All right.
with that, thank you again, Randy.
Thanks,
Glad
Randy.
to
Yeah,
get you back
absolutely.
on
Yes,
here
thank
for VLC.
Yeah.
I hope it goes well. Like I said, I have a booking, so I will not, unfortunately, will not be able to fly up to see it. So
Hey.
I hope it's awesome, though. I will be
Hell yeah.
looking forward to updates and things. So
In other words, Matt and I will be filming things and going, "Hey, Levi, check this out."
yeah, I was gonna say I'll have to
Yeah.
mute the Per Sessions group chat because I'll be doing something and it will just be flooding with VLC things.
Yeah.
Where's
Really?
also here's my one question before I go. Big Cat, where's the vlog?
I know. I haven't done one in a while. I got to.
Guys should do a VLC vlog.
Ooh,
That would be dope.
that might be fun.
I don't know. Just an idea. Just an
See,
idea.
I had a lot of things planned, but after the 4th time of fighting with my wife, I lost a battle, so I actually won't
What are
be
you
at
fighting with her
VLC.
for? She's the one saving this podcast right now. She's the one reminding me to do
You
this
know, the
podcast.
man has a point. The man has a point.
That's true, I guess. I'll give her credit for that. So
She's
I
invested. What are you talking about?
I wanted to do a whole VLC thing. I wanted to actually interview like some of the fans, get their predictions of what they're looking forward to and what they wanted to see, and maybe some of the talent, and have them like maybe do a quick what are they expected for tonight type thing. Maybe I'll instruct the boys to
Yeah, I mean, I'll be there.
do
I
some
can
stuff.
definitely
I should
go
be
there,
around
yeah.
and do that. If I have Randy's permission, I definitely,
Oh yeah.
can
can
shoot
set some
stuff
shit
for
up.
us. Yeah. Cool. We'll
Well-
get that done.
With all that being said, go ahead and plug your socials, and you are free to get out of here. Again, congratulations. I hope it goes really well. The floor is
you.
yours.
And thank you guys for having me on again. I have a blast on these things. Yeah, I mean, biggest event in Limitless history coming up Saturday, August 17th. We're at the Coliseum in Lewiston. Vacation Land Cup 24. I mean, we've talked about pretty much all the matches. We talked about last week, of course, Scotty Too Hotty Dirty Dango going head to head, but
That's wild.
Yeah.
tickets
still.
$20 for this thing. You can sit anywhere in the bleachers. They're on sale now. You can get them at the door as well or from the box office. And then just stay up to date. We're going to have more announcements going into this thing as the week rolls on. So Limitless Wrestling on Facebook, at LW Maine on Twitter, Limitless Wrestling on Instagram, or for any and everything, limitlesswrestling.com.
perfect.
Awesome.
Hopefully we get that building all sold out.
Hell yeah,
I
man.
want
We're
to
gonna try our
see that.
best.